Hi, and welcome to another episode of Bespoke Architects Daily Pinup. I'm Nicole Walters, Director of Bespoke Architects, and I'm about to show you what inspiring architectural images made our Pinterest boards today. There was a lot that came through that was really lovely over the weekend, so let me launch straight into it. One of the first images I saw this morning was this beautiful lounge area with this completely glass roof. I have parked it on the skylight board, but it probably is a roof unto itself. So that's just divine, and I don't know whether it's because I'm sitting here in the middle of freezing cold winter. We've had our shortest day yesterday, and I look at that and just think how extraordinarily beautiful would it be to sit in that lounge room underneath that skylight. So that's why that one's on the board. Another little interesting space was this commercial premises. It's obviously an office building. I have put that on the mezzanine and catwalk board. Something like this could be replicated in a residential application as well. Just that beautiful sort of green roof over this office space, and then the plywood acting as the balustrading to that upper level mezzanine. I just thought it was really lovely. So that's why that one's on the board. A couple of different sort of screens caught my eye today for external building treatment, where you're sort of going for that privacy but trying to get the air circulation and still have visibility. So this one here is obviously a cut laser screen, and then we have another sort of rippled steel mesh there that's really lovely as well. This particular image caught my eye for the integrated material for sink and bench top. Always a fan of something like that. And you can see they've even got a drainer in the same material, and then beyond that the cooktop. So that's why that one made the board. This little house here, I just really like the shape. We can see there is a slight fall to this block, and then the way that they've created sort of, it comes in at ground level. There is a slight ramp there, but it's coming in sort of at ground level. It's shooting beyond ground level as the ground falls away, and just that single column holding up that cantilevered balcony, and then the way this wall form is created is lovely, and then it balances that asymmetrical roofline in this image. So I thought that was really lovely. This little house here was really rustic, and I really liked the material palette of that. As you can see, this is their bathroom. A lot of raw concrete that we're seeing here, the exposed copper piping, the glass shower screen. Interesting choice to put a carpet runner in the bathroom, but obviously keeps your feet warm and potentially dry when you're standing here at the vanity basin, which is on the right hand side of that image, and we can see some towel storage under that. So just a really heavy rustic bathroom, but feels quite welcoming. It's all that lovely light that's playing around in that space. From that same project, really enjoying the bed here. We can see the bed head made of concrete as well. It's a floating bed with some bedside tables, and the lamps themselves and the power are all in that concrete structure. Next to that, we have from the same property this outdoor fire pit with the downlighting under that bench seat is really interesting, and then the lovely stonework of that outdoor fire pit's lovely. The fence from that property, it's like a breeze block done in panels. We can see the solid element there supporting that top rail, and then the breeze block in between, and then the feature sort of gate. Here is an outside shot of this property here, and we can see that's the gate and that's the fence that we can see. It is a beautiful sort of earthy rustic building from the outside as well. Really enjoying that. From that same property, the kitchen, again we've seen the rustic concrete forming the front bench and back bench. We've got the fridge and the pantry. Really liking the tiled island bench. The rear of the island bench is actually a tile, so that's a beautiful use of material. And then we can see the entry to that is that sort of huge cantilevered canopy with that pivot front door that is its centre to that image over there. And again, the lovely use of earthy materials is really lovely. This little apartment caught my eye. It was that sort of tiled flue that I'm really enjoying, which is this image here and sideways here. The whole palette of that kitchen is lovely. We can see the kitchen island bench is extending through to sort of a bar section, and then beyond that is the dining table. Really liking the timber veneer and then the green splashback on this side, balanced of course in this kitchen by that lovely tile flue. So there's no shelving, it's just a solid range of flue that's tiled. And then these steel bifold doors that are concealed at the end of the kitchen behind a wood panel, and then they go across to divide the kitchen space from the adjoining space, which is lovely. And then we move to their bathroom, and we can see again those lovely tiles are at play. They've gone really bold with their colour palette. They've gone for that bright yellow vanity with the stainless steel bench top. It's just a really lovely material palette for that bathroom. This little apartment caught my eye, and it was all about the staircase. Sort of leading up to that mezzanine, we've got this really heavy gauge steel, both staircase room dividing balustrade here. And here is a detailed shot of that there. So it's got some interesting mesh through it, obviously acting as the balustrade. And then we can see that it's got some interesting shapes to store books and boxes in. So that was really interesting and lovely. And then finally, this little property here, it was that cantilevered alfresco roof with that dormer window on top that I saw first of all this morning and really enjoyed in that. And then also from that project is on the far side of that is some screened paneling that's operable. So that caught my eye as well. And then finally from the interior of that house was in fact the kitchen. Just, it's so monolithic. Obviously, there's a lot going on behind these panelled doors. We can see the floor material running underneath, which makes me think that these are all operable. I can see a small seam in that white cladding there. So interesting to see what is behind that, and then we can see that there's more at the end. So I'm guessing it is an L-shaped kitchen that's concealed with a monolithic bench at the front that's got your cooking and your sink in it. We can see the task lighting. And this is the second project where we've pinned a range hood that's more like a diffuser up high on the ceiling. So something different. I haven't done that here in Australia yet, but it's the second time, like I say, internationally I've seen it done. So it is starting to catch my eye as a design solution. I do wonder how loud that is when it works, but it would be something that you'd have to see before you could attest to that. So that's everything that's come in from this very short, very cold weekend here in Victoria. Thank you so much for joining me. I leave you with a sunnier image of Golf Course House, Bespoke House number 4. This is just a detailed shot of a buffet that's sitting against their pantry wall, and then here we can see the panel, plywood panel operable corner to their third bedroom come study. So thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Bespoke Architects Daily Pinup. Until tomorrow, I'll see you then.